Hello, good afternoon. आज चाहिँ मैले आई थिङ्क प्रब्ली द फर्स्ट टाइम यति बेला भ्लगिङ गर्दैछु बिकज फाइनली आफ्टर 1 विक हिजोबाट चाहिँ टाइमिङहरू मिल्न थाल्यो सो आइ एम गेटिङ अप एट अराउन्ड 6 o'clock खै अस्ति जस्तो होइन आई युज टु गेट अप एट लाइक 4 5 होइन 3 4 5 o'clock इन द मर्निङ अनि आई ह्याड नो वर्क टिल 8 o'clock सो आई युज टु डु द भ्लगिङ अर्ली इन द मर्निङ सो एनिवे आज मर्निङमा नि धेरै काम गऱ्यौँ सो आई विल कभर इट इन दिस ब्लग So yesterday afternoon, as I told you in my earlier vlogs also, Mallika mommy weren't feeling well because of flu and body ache, you know, after we came back from the temple visit and all that. So in fact they had slight fever and severe body ache and all. So they were resting the last 2 days and yesterday evening we were at home the whole day, yesterday and day before yesterday. Na? So yesterday in the evening, and we had myself had planned to go on to go to a park nearby. So as per plan, at around 5 o'clock in the evening, I, Jaisab and Sarvesh, we three went to the Feltham Park. So Feltham Park is a huge park actually. I didn't expect it to be so big, you know. It is within the community, so it just took us around 15 minutes to reach the park, you know. So you just have to go on the street on the same side of the street from the house, and finally you reach a sort of intersection that is a chook, and then you just cross the intersection. That is the length of the road, maybe around 15 to 20 minutes walking on the main highway. Yeah, and once you cross the street, then there's the park on the other side. And yeah, it's a very very huge park which I hadn't actually imagined, you know. When you just enter the park, there are, like, you can see many people playing tennis, yeah, and then playing football, not exactly football but just like rugby sort of thing, and tennis and basketball also nearby. And then the park is such that you have a small play area here, and then you have another big ground here, and then another big ground here, and they have a racing track. So actually it is very very huge. When I went, I've never expected it to be, I never expected it to be so huge, you know. So the more we walked inside, and the park was opening up to more and more huge like huge fields, you know, large fields. The stadium, in fact the running track was, I think, 800 meters, so you can imagine, like, there were so many other similar grounds. So that way we just walked around. It took us around 1.5 hour, I guess, or maybe 2 hours, yeah. So and we took a lot of he took a lot of pictures for me. And then interestingly, when we walked to the edge of the park, and on the other extreme edge of the park was actually the Heathrow airport border, you know. So from the park you could easily see so many, like, huge planes landing and taking off, and you were just counting. It's called plane watching also, just like bird watching. Yeah, so in fact we stood on the ground and looked at this landing and taking off, and we saw, like, in 1 minute there were uh, more than 6 or 7, I guess, more than that, I guess, there were. Because once the plane lands, and if you look up and see on the right side, you can spot two, you know, coming on the way. So it's like queue, you know. One is just landing, one is on the one you can see, and one is on the extreme right. Yeah, so that way you can see at least three planes lined up every time, you know. So I think there were like more than 6 or 7 planes in a minute, I guess so. Yeah, so that was very very beautiful to watch, you know. And I just realized we were so close to the Heathrow airport. Like, if you walk, you know, actually if you just go by shortcut, it can, I think we can reach in like 45 minutes. Yeah, but if you take the roadway, you come up in around 40 45 minutes by a car, you know, because you've got to turn and walk through the various major roads. Yeah, so that was yesterday, and then we had a nice dinner. Yeah, and then we rested yesterday, and in the morning, today morning, we had planned with Joyce that we would go to another park which is just near to the place we live, and that's an interesting park actually. Again, this too, when you look from outside, it just has a simple gate, you know, but when you go inside, my God, I just read about it. It's called Kinsworth. It's a sort of aviation ground, you know. It's also called the Kinworth Air Base or something. And I was just reading about that in the Google. And around 1920s, this ground was very busy and important because the airships were coming to land on that ground, you know. So there were pictures. I was also posted the picture in the group also. where we can see pictures of 1920 where the the planes have landed on that airfield. So yeah, that was this is a sort of historical ground, and they've maintained that place as a park area, and it's just huge, huge. I was reading it was around 50 hectares, so you can just imagine. And we actually covered almost a major part of that area in 2 hours, and we walked around 5 kilometers. So we may not have covered the whole park, but anyway, we walked around the edges of the park in many parts of the area. So it took us around, yeah, 2 hours. We were walking swiftly, and there were jungles in between where we enjoyed and took a lot of pictures. And there were swamps, there were small streams with fishes and all, also within the park area, like sort of jungle area, and lots of berries on both sides of the walkway. And we call it oinselu or something, no? Yeah, it's very, very sweet, nice blackberries, red berries, blueberries, and I believe they are all checked by the council, and people can they have left it there for people to eat. Not like another jungle where we have to be so scared whether we can eat it or not. Yeah, so that was the eventful morning today, and we are all like we had a lunch, and then we did some washing and all that stuff, and now we are resting and planning for tomorrow, because tomorrow is another eventful day where we have to set off at around 10:30 in the morning to the Windsor Castle, and there we'll be there for the whole day. And it's good that to see Mummy and Malika finally back in their foots today. Malika also joined us today for the 5 kilometer, and she was too tired. Yeah, she had a bath, and now they're all resting. So hopefully we have a nice day ahead tomorrow, and also another nice evening in at Dipendra and Shaili's place for dinner. So yeah, I'll have lots to tell day after tomorrow, I think. Yeah, so this is all for today. Signing off, and I am today. Because it's afternoon, I chose to stay in Malika's garden, and there's a nice like dubo and all grass in them, and it's nice to sit here actually. So I just thought of sitting here and vlogging today. Okay, so that's all for today. Bye.